Hello everyone, this is Gage from Gondorian Smith, and today I'm going to be bringing you guys another 3rd Age Reforged online multiplayer battle replay. This one is a 4 versus 4 on the Dead Marshes map that was sent to me by Rex Prime Soap, so a big thank you to her before we begin. And without any further ado, we can just go ahead and get straight into the army compositions, beginning with her. So she is playing as Harad. She's got 4 units of the Southron Warband, who are a low to middle tier spear unit, however they are AP, and unlike the Southron pikemen back here, they do have shields, so they are a little bit more able to... They're a little bit better against arrows, but still not great because, like most of Harad's forces, they are lightly armored. However, they do a lot of damage, especially because they are AP spears. And she has got back here also 3 units of the Southron pikemen, who are another AP polearm. However, unlike the Southron warband, they do not have shields, so they can get skirmished down very quickly. But they do have really good bonuses against cavalry and things like that. She also has 2 units of the Trollmen of Harad, who are multiple hit points, sword and shield infantry that are also AP. She's got 2 units of the Muhad Beast Hunters, who are a kind of like above average or maybe mid-tier javelin unit. She's also got 1 of the Champions of Nafarat, who are just a shock version of the Trollmen of Harad. However, unlike the Trollmen, you can only bring 1 before the price increase. She's got 1 unit of the Black Serpent Bodyguards, which is where her general is, and that's just a very swift AP Lancer Cavalry bodyguard unit with multiple hit points. Over here she also has 1 of the Hashari's Shadows, which I believe is a body-piercing horse archer unit, which is not very common at all. She also has 1 of the Standard Hashari and 2 units of the Hashari Stalkers, who are body-piercing rangers, and that pretty much does it for her army, so we can now go to her first ally, who is Sayuki-san, who is playing as Isengard. And something to note about Isengard is I really do enjoy playing them. They are very, very fun to play as, so you'll probably see some replays pretty soon of me playing as them. Anyway, he's got a couple units of the Warg Riders here who are going to be very good at taking out the enemy cavalry. He's got 1 unit of the Uruk-hai Berserkers, 1 unit of the Nazghai, which is where his general is. He's got 1 unit of the Orc Ballista, 3 units of Uruk-hai Archers, 1 unit only of the Uruk-hai Crossbows, 1 unit of the Uruk-hai Infantry, 3 units of the Uruk-hai Raiders, and 2 units of the Uruk-hai Pikemen. So that will pretty much do it for his army. Also, I do apologize if you hear the garbage truck outside. It'll go away pretty soon. But anyway, we can now see the next army, which is Umbar, being commanded by Olaga, and he has definitely gone for the quality over quantity because he's got a super tiny army. He's got a couple units of the Belagir Halberds, 1 of the Naru Royal Archers, 1 hidden unit of Corsair Archers, and one hidden unit of the Crossbow Corsairs, somewhere around here, right there. He also has 1 unit of the Castamir's Chosen, 1 unit of the Naru and Aru Royal Guard, 1 unit of the Abrazen Narduzagar, 2 units of the Abrazen Nardudarik, and 1 unit of the Harbingers of Castamir. Now, all of this with the exception of probably the Nardudarik and the Belagir Halberds will do pretty well against his enemy, but because his enemy are Elves, the AP is not going to do much, and with most AP units, their skill is relatively low, and most of the time the Elven skill can beat the AP damage. So anyway, in addition to this, he also has 1 of the Mounted Numenorian Shield Guard and 1 of the Warlords of Umbar. Over here you can see that Savage Paradox had a unfortunate deployment zone. He had just this tiny sliver to deploy his whole force in. However, because his enemy is pretty far away, he will be able to set up in this kind of area here. And I'm not even really going to attempt to know the exact army comp, but we will see it later in the battle. But you can expect a pretty normal, balanced Arthedain army. He's got a couple units of the Arthedain Marksmen. I think he's got some Banderbrass Archers in there, yes. He's got 2 units of Dunedain Mounted Company, some Knights of Anuminas, and he's got a lot of heavy infantry and Arnor Pikes. So just a pretty standard Arthedain army. But that will pretty much do it for that team, so we can now go over here to the first of the other team, which is Queen Kay, who's going to be playing as Golamroth, and similarly to, I don't know if that's a word, but similar to Umbar, he or she is going to be bringing a very elite army, very small, but still. He has got 1 unit of the Tirith Air Marksmen, 1 unit of the Blackroot Vale Archers, and 1 unit of the Nimmerdale Rangers, but both of those are hidden somewhere. He's got 2 units of the Talon Knights, he's got 2 units of the Black Swan Vanguard, and he's got 1 unit of the Civilians. He's also got his general, which is the Haven Guard, and he's got a ton of heavy cavalry, that being 1 unit of the Swan Knights, who are a very deadly anti-cav unit, 2 units of the Knights of the Silver Swan, who are a Lancer unit, and he also has 1 unit of the White Knights over here, which is another melee cav. However, unlike the Swan Knights, these guys do have shields. We can now go to the next army, which is the Realm of Lothlorien, being commanded by Master Blaster. He's got 1 unit of the body-piercing Adil Tirith. However, these guys will be losing their body piercing in the hotfix, which is a good thing because it really doesn't make a lot of sense that they have it now. He also has, I think, 4 units of Sylvan Spears, 2 units of the Lorien Blades, 3 units of the Lorien Axes, 1 unit of the Sindar Archers for his bodyguard. He's also got 1 unit of the Lorien Mounted Company, who, despite their shield and armor values, can get skirmish done very quickly. However, they are very, very damaging if you allow them to get a charge off, so you have to be very careful with these guys. However, if you use them correctly, they can do a ton of damage. He's also got a couple hidden units around here somewhere, maybe on the other side actually. I think he's got a couple hidden Sylvan Staff Masters with the armor upgrades, and I think he might have some Sylvan Archers around here as well. That will pretty much do it for his army, so we can now go to another of the Elven armies, which is Leicester, commanding the Realm of Linden. He's got a couple units of the Wardens of Harlandon, who are a Horse Archer unit, and I believe they have an AP charge currently, but that may be changing. He also has his General for the Nildoran Horse Lord, which is a very, very deadly AP off the charred Knight unit, also very quick. He's got a couple units of the Forlandon Marines. There's his second unit of Wardens of Harlandon. He's got 1 unit of the Mithlond Lancers, who, unlike the Wardens of Harlandon or the Horse Archer variant, Wardens of Harlandon, instead of having a bow and arrows, these guys actually have javelins, and they are AP off the charge. I know that for a fact. Here is another unit of his Forlandon Marines. He's got 1 unit only of the Harlandon Guard. He's also got a unit of the Wardens of Elas Tyrion, which is one of the best ranger units in the game, hidden around here somewhere. He's got 3 or 4 units of the Harlandon Infantry, 1 unit of the Mithlond Pikemen, 2 units of the Forlandon Pikemen, and 1 unit of the Nildoran Guards. That will pretty much do it for his army. And we can now go to the final army, which is another Elven army, this being the Realm of Mirkwood, being commanded by Eggslopp. And something that is very interesting is that you can see that he does have both artillery pieces, the catapult and the ballista, so he is really, really intent on forcing his enemy to come to him, which would probably happen anyway because Soph is playing as Harad, but we'll see how that works out for him. Up here he has 1 unit of the Hiri Peng on a nice firing position on the hill. He's got some Hiri Lang. He's got 2 units of the Hiri Spearmen, 2 units of the Hiri Sword and Shield Infantry, and 1 unit of the IRR Brandon E. Nanowith for his General, which is another AP off the charge Knight unit. And he also has like 3 hidden units of the Thurn E. Tower Archer, which is a light archer that is pretty cheap actually for Mirkwood archers, and they're actually not bad. And one of their better things is that they can hide anywhere, so that is why we cannot see them, but we will see them pretty shortly here once the battle starts off. But I can assure you that this one is a very, very action-packed one, and it is very close, and there's actually a lot of really good teamwork in it too, so I hope you guys do enjoy it. We can go ahead and start it off now. So right away, you're obviously going to see the catapult and the ballista firing at Soph's forces, forcing her to come to him, but we'll see how Soph reacts to this. Yes, already you can see her troops moving to loose formation and trying to get out of the way of the ballista and catapult. The catapult is going to be able to get a volley off, and missing some of the warband there, but ooh, that was an okay hit on the warband. The other one missed though. So not too many casualties right away. She's going to retreat with some of her more expensive units. Over here, her hidden forces are still just biding their time, waiting for the perfect opportunity. Because of how lightly armored Mirkwood is, those body-piercing arrows will do a lot of damage. Although Mirkwood actually does have some pretty decent armor, to be honest. Actually. Ooh! And a really excellent hit there right into the middle of those Southern pikemen, who unfortunately went into tight formation at the very wrong time. Over here you can see the lightly armored Southron Warband getting shot to death by these 2 units of Thurn E. Tower. Maybe he only has 2 of them actually. I could be wrong. No, he has 3. Just the 3rd one did not pull stakes. So Soph is going to have to rush forward as quickly as possible, but she is going to take a lot of losses to the skirmishing power of Mirkwood. The only unfortunate thing about Eggslopp bringing both of these units of artillery is he's probably not going to get a ton of kills with them, honestly, just because Harad is rushing right away, and as soon as the main portion of Soph's army gets close, the artillery won't be able to do that much. So I do understand him bringing it to force Harad to come to him, but I think bringing both the ballista and the catapult was a little bit unnecessary. You can see him going to retreat with his archers, and over here you can see the Hashari Stalkers begin firing their body-piercing arrows over here at the Hiri Spearmen. I think I will quickly... oh no, not that. Sound option. Let's turn this down a little bit. That's actually really loud. That might be a little too loud. 65 for now. Anyway. So the Thurn E Tower getting back into a little bit better of a firing position. Oh, up there the Hiri Peng using fire ammo, trying to target down the Muhad Beast Hunters. Knowing how deadly those javelins are, he is definitely going to try to silence them as quickly as possible. However, because of how much Eggslopp invested in his skirmishing power, I don't think he's going to be able to hold this line for very long, especially not when Harad gets the elites in here like the Trollmen and Champions of Nafarat. See the Hiri Lang trying to go around to plug up this gap. Megali Aaron going to actually rush forward, however that is going to leave a big gap here in the line. However, we should go over here now. You can see that pretty much all that's been going on so forth is just a lot of skirmishing going on between the remaining factions. Looks like Umbar is kind of losing that skirmish fight. Not surprising, considering he's going up against Elven factions, who have much better archers. And over here, actually, Master Blaster looks like he's getting targeted by Arthedain. Arthedain trying to fire as many arrows as possible into the very deadly Edeltirith and Sindar archers. You can see it looked like Olaga tried to chase down some of the Elven archers, but got caught out by the Lorien Mounted Company. Looks like the Shield Guard fared the same. And over here you can see that Bill Langmoth is slowly but surely making his way over here. So unfortunately for, what's his name? Savage Paradox, he may find himself very quickly surrounded. Oh, Queen K actually has 2 units of Black Reveal archers. I thought he only had 1. Well, that's a lot of BP. Over here, though, you can see that things are very quickly beginning to look grim for Eggslop. He's got a couple units of Maethar Elas Galen around here, but they're really just not being allowed to fire because of how fierce this rush from Soph really is beginning to be. You can see these Maethar Elas Galen look like they might have actually gotten shot down by the Hishari Stalkers. And over on this side, you can see the IRR Brennan Enanwave really struggling against the combined forces of the Hishari, the Black Serpent Bodyguard, and the Hishari Shadows. However, the Hishari Shadows are pretty much all but dealt with by now. See, Soph is trying to charge into these archers and stop them from firing at our very vulnerable infantrymen. The Catapult and Ballista crew are still trying to do their best, but I think pretty quickly here they are not going to be able to fire for much longer, because right here you can see that these Hiri Oth are struggling. Elsewhere, though, Megali Aaron also not looking too hot. Hiri Lang doing okay. Maethar Elas Galen, though, are being allowed to fire, so that is going to provide a little bit of support to the faltering lines of Mirkwood, who had Beast Hunters trying to move in to silence the Elven Javelins, as well as the Black Serpent Bodyguard. Oh, okay, good, I was going to say. The Black Serpent Bodyguard would not do well against the Maethar Elas Galen, who are Spear Cav as well, or who are Spear infantry once they go out of ammo. Ooh, a nice ballista hit there. But the Megali Aaron have been pretty much completely dealt with, so it is going to allow Soph to rush forward with her infantry and try to silence these ballista and catapult crew members. Javelin's going to the Maethar Elas Galen, and looks like so far that Harad's rush is being very successful. Hiri Pang just firing constantly, but really not doing too much to help out. Noldorn Horse Lord's at 10, unfortunately. Must have tried to rush the Isengard lines. Harland on guard, trying to skirmish on the Corsair archers, who are being backed up by some crossbow Corsairs and Beligir halberds. Over here, Umbar and Master Blaster are about to meet in battle. Oh, he actually had a lot of hidden units. He had some Sindar Blade Masters, both of which have the armor upgrades. And, ooh, this is going to be a very difficult fight for Umbar, I think, just because of how few he is in numbers. I think it's going to be very difficult, especially because so many of the Elven units here are skillful rather than heavily armored. So his units like the Aberzen and Ardudarik are going to really struggle. Not to mention the fact that these Sylvan Staff Masters are also AP, so against the heavily armored Nardutarik, it is going to be a very difficult fight for them. Lorien Mounted Company trying to sneak around the edges here, but they're getting skirmished down a little bit. Harbingers of Castamere trying to be committed. And the Naru Royal Archers taking a lot of losses. Naru Royal Guard trying to sneak around the edges. And looks like over here, things are not looking too good for both. Ooh, yeah, things are not looking good for both Arnor and for Lorien. You can see that because of the positioning of Queen K's body-piercing arrows, he's just absolutely melting this very thick line of Arnor's troops. You can see the body piercing just doing its work over here, just going straight through so many of those people. However, I think it's going to be close because Arnor still does have a lot of troops remaining. You can see that the infantry fight is about to begin. Some Lorien Blades all marching into the front line here. Same with some Sylvan Spears. Unfortunately, though,
we have lost half of our men.
Lorien has a really difficult time dealing with pikes, which is what Arnor has a lot of. So without that supporting archer fire, and definitely without the support of the infantrymen of Queen K, I think Master Blaster will probably lose here. The AP of the Black Swan Vanguard is going to do very good. Looks like they're really getting targeted though by some arrow fire, unfortunately. Also, the Talon Knights are going to do good no matter what. Yeah, the lines right here looking pretty bad, honestly, for both sides. It looks like both Lorien and Dolomarth are really trying to focus on this one portion of the line, and then try to meet the others. However, if not careful,
The enemy are badly bloodied. They have lost half their men.
However, if they're not careful, they are going to be surrounded, which would be very, very unfortunate, which it looks like that is what Savage Paradox is attempting to do. But anyway, you saw that lone pikeman take out the Mirkwood general. Thorny Tower retreating. Gonna probably go back to the allies, or to their allies. Well, here you can see the last of the Noldorn Horse Lords, including Círdan the Shipwright, the general of Linden right here, fighting hard against some trollmen and champions of Nafarat, who have both taken horrendous losses. Here you paying routing.
Foolish general was bolder than Arusta and allowed himself to be slain in battle.
Yeah, the Haradrim general getting taken out by Círdan himself. However, yeah, there goes Círdan too. So a lot of dead generals right there. 3 out of the 8. Wardens of Harlond, I'm going to try to charge into the back of these Muad Beast Hunters, but not before getting Javelin, or some pikes moving in to support those Javelins. But not looking very good. Soph was able to beat Mirkwood, but she did take a lot of losses, all things considered. Over here, it's still just a pretty long skirmish fight going on between Isengard and Linden now. However, unfortunately, Isengard really isn't putting his troops in loose formation, so his archers are going to take a lot of losses. Oh, and over here, Master Blaster, having separated his forces in two, one to deal with Umbar and one to help out against Arthedain, has really taken a lot of losses, but not nearly as many as Olaga has. You can see Olaga is really starting to struggle. A lot of his elites now going down just to the actual numbers of the Elves, surprisingly enough. Sindar archers in there trying to take out some Naru and Naru Royal Guard. Eligir Halberd's not going to be a great help, but every little does help. Every little does count. Crossbow Corsairs trying to get a good position to fire. If they are allowed to fire, they will do a great deal of damage, but looks like Master Blaster is trying to sneak around some Sindar archers to silence those crossbows. And way over here, the cavalry of Dol Amroth is wreaking havoc amongst the lines of Arthedain. And there goes the 4th general, that being Umbar's general. But see, the pikes are just so difficult for Lorien to deal with. You can see a lot of these Lorien troops actually being surrounded. Black Swan Vanguard down to 30. It's looking very, very even. But so far, it kind of looks like Arthedain is kind of winning this. However, the only cavalry he has left, there goes those Dunedain Mounted Company. But he does have some Knights of Enumenos, which is where his general is. However, the sheer amount of numbers that, in terms of cavalry, that Dol Amroth has will definitely be enough to take out the Knights of Enumenos if he's not careful. You can see the first wave of Elven infantry, though, was pretty much beaten back. It's now going to be a matter of the elites of Dol Amroth versus what remains of Arthedain over here in this fight. If he wants to win, Queen K is definitely going to have to utilize his cavalry very, very well. He or she, I've never played with Queen Chris, I don't know. I do apologize if I'm getting that wrong. Yeah, Umbar pretty much done for now. Some Naru and Naru Royal Archers now fighting against some Harlandon Guard. So this is what I meant. There's been a lot of really good team play. Dol Amroth and Master Blaster working together to beat, or to attempt to beat Arthedain, still going on over there, honestly. And over here, Leicester and Master Blaster pretty much have defeated, looks like, Umbar. You can see some flanking troops of Leicester's going around maybe Umbar, but no, they're actually chasing some crossbow corsairs who are desperately trying to run away. And over here you can see that Linden has actually begun the infantry fight. Some Uruk-hai pikemen facing down some Forlandon pikemen who took heavy losses from these Uruk-hai archers. But unfortunately for the Uruk-hai pikemen, they were not in guard mode, so they're going to take a lot of losses. Noldorn Guard being committed here, those guys are going to do quite well. And over here you have some Uruk-hai raiders trying to give some support to those Corsair archers, it looks like maybe. Warriors of Elastirion trying to get shots in wherever they can.
Enemy are badly bloodied.
The Orc Ballista is making its way over here to try to get into a better position. And elsewhere you can see that Harad is starting to make her way over here, trying to target down those Wardens of Elastirion with her own Rangers. However, it looks like the Wardens might be out of ammo. Ooh, yeah. Leicester really taking a lot of losses so far. But he is doing fairly well. I mean, it looks like he's taken out pretty much a lot of this unit of pikemen. But the Urkai Berserkers will really do a good job of cementing this line here. So the state of Linden's battle line is really becoming deplorable. You can see he's just got some units kind of everywhere running around. But it looks like Umbar was completely taken out, except for the crossbow corsairs, of course. And over here, we can take a look at Arthedain. Ooh. So it looks like, oh man. You can see the pikemen trying to surround these elite units, but after the beating he took from the arrow fire, it looks like Arthedain might not have enough numbers to actually deal with the elites of Dol Amroth. See some Lorien Blades trying to help take out the last of those Arthedain forces. Yeah, and the heavy cav also doing a really excellent job here. Over here you can see some Knights of the Silver Swan 1v1ing some Knights of Anuminas. Being a Lancer cav, the Knights of the Silver Swan aren't super great in melee, but with the support of these Nimerdale Rangers, they will be able to beat the Knights of Anuminas. Arthedain pikemen actually thinking about routing, which is unsurprising because a lot of this heavy cav of Dol Amroth actually does inspire fear and encourage the units around them. Edeltirith trying to give some support as well. And I think most of the ammo has been spent of Dol Amroth. You can see both Mirkwood and Lorien trying to go over to the support of Dol Amroth, not wanting to get separated from their allies.
The accursed enemy.
Yeah, there goes the Arthedain general.
We must look to our own soldiers for victory now.
Ooh, and over here Harad now going to sandwich Linden.
And scatter to the four
We've got some wargs around here as well, trying to rear charge the units. Over here, Urkai Raiders not doing well at all against the Harlandon infantry, but that is unsurprising. However, with the support that they're about to be given, they will be able to beat the Harlandon infantry. Over here, the frontline fight is still going on, but not for much longer. Really, the only thing keeping any of these soldiers in the fight are these Noldorn Guard, who are now down to only 15 men remaining. Harlandon Marines routing after getting rear charged by some wargs. Again, that is unsurprising. Ooh, so things are looking really close. 71 to 82. So definitely in favor of Sopsov's team. But Dol Amroth really didn't take a lot of losses. Honestly, it looks like what they took losses in like the most numbers was their heavy cav. Looks like Queen K does not have much heavy cav left over, and obviously all of her archers are not looking too good either, especially because they are all out of ammo. However, they're about to be supported by some of Master Blaster's forces. He doesn't have many left over, but again, the forces that he does have left over are not bad. Sylvan Staff Masters with the armor upgrade and the Sindar archers. So they're just trying to kind of reform their lines. Harlandon infantry routing. And that looks like it's going to pretty much be it for the fight, at least for the time being, until Dol Amroth and the Elves try to reform their lines. Noldorn Guard all taken out now. Trolls of the White Hand still very healthy. There are still some wargs and the Orc Ballista, as well as the Nazkai. I think the Berserkers are down to 25. Yes, they lost half the unit fighting those Noldorn Guard. Still a couple of Wardens of Harlandon, actually, and some Forlandon Marines who are reforming their lines. Only one of these Harlandon Guard actually have a bow, though. The other is an officer, so he's going to try to do his best. Maybe shoot down some of these lightly armored pikemen who are very tired. Trollmen actually at 18. Ooh, I really hope that she doesn't try to... Ooh, that's unfortunate. Trollmen getting javelined right there. Because on normal settings like it is right now, I believe, the Trollman of Harad, even though there's only 16 left, would still be able to do a lot of damage. But they're currently getting javelined by what remains of those Forlandon Marines. Looks like some wards going off to maybe try to harass the Dol Amroth. And some Hashari Stalkers who are out of ammo now going to try to silence those Forlandon Marines. Going to take a javelin volley, though, in the process. Oh, actually, one unit was going to try to chase after those Wardens of Harlandon. Actually, it is. But no, it's going to go after the Forlandon Marines instead. And the Hashari Stalkers will be able to beat the Forlandon Marines. 4-1 Marines, not bad in melee against cavalry because they're a spear unit, but against infantry, and yeah, they're just going to get wrecked, especially against something like the Shari Stalkers, who are not bad at all in melee with their dual wielding daggers or short swords. Over here you can see Dol Amroth and the Elves kind of reforming the lines. Going to actually be marching forward a little bit now. It's going to be interesting to see if they decide to go on the offensive or if they will wait for the numerous Isengard forces to instead advance upon them. Still a decent amount of low to mid tier units from Harad. There's actually some crossbow corsairs still in here. Wargs, ballista, trolls. So yeah, a pretty sizable portion of orcs left over. However, none of it is super. Not a whole lot of it is super elite, with the exception of maybe the trolls, and the Nazkai, because the berserkers are pretty low in number after their long fight. Really, Sayuki-san has a lot of archers or skirmishers left over, and some okay infantry like some Urkai raiders, but I think it's gonna be close. Ooh, yeah, and Sof has lost her general, so with all the fear-inspiring that Dol Amroth has left, we may see a lot of breaking. Over here, it looks like the few men of Dol Amroth and Elves are trying to make their way over to something. Not quite sure where they're trying to go.
Drive them from the battle.
Maybe up to a hill. The Elves are running way ahead of the Dol Amroth players, though. Or the Dol Amroth player, so if he's not careful, he may find himself cut off from his ally. But again, this could all be a clever ruse. Oh, what the? Wait, there's still artillery? Yeah, there's... Oh! Taking out a piece of those pikemen? Oh! Shaken, actually. But yeah, what? What is that? The wargs are going after. I don't know where it is, though. It's over here. No, what? Eggslop still has both of his artillery pieces, both the catapult and the ballista. Oh my. Oh my goodness. And that must be what Master Blaster is trying to make his way over here for. He's trying to protect this artillery crew before they get destroyed by the Warg Raiders, but unfortunately Master Blaster was not quick enough, so these wargs will be able to silence these artillery pieces. Maybe if Eggslop had waited a little bit longer, but I doubt that would have actually gone on for long. It was just a matter of time before the Orcs and the Men of Harad noticed this. But look, they were able to do a lot of damage, actually, taking out a lot of the Urkai archers and a number of the Urkai crossbows. But yeah, they are about to get taken out now by the Wargs. There was only 8 of the catapult crew, they all got butchered, and now the 10 ballistic crew are about to fare the same fate. And it looks like Master Blaster, realizing that there's no need for him to go over there, is going to pull back with his forces back to Dol Amroth's front lines. Yeah, that is what he's doing. But yeah, so far a really nice battle. I've been really loving all the teamwork. Yeah, Harad pretty low on elites, which is unfortunate because with the loss of the general, a lot of her troops are going to be thinking about routing for a long time. They're just trying to reform their lines here. Now that most of the ammo has been expended for the elves and men... Oh, I take it back. I thought most of the ammo was used up, but it looks like these Thurny Tower do have ammo. Which is unfortunate for Harad, because Harad is on the front lines, and they are very lightly armored. But again, I guess that's kind of unsurprising, because Harad has more infantry left over. Sayuki-san still does have some... Well, actually, no. Sayuki-san actually does have a good bit of infantry. Nazkai, some Urkai Raiders, one unit of Urkai infantry. The ballista is back there as well, probably going to begin firing on the Dol Amroth elites pretty soon here. Trollmen are in there, probably chanting their hearts out to try to give some morale support to the exhausted Haradrim forces. Although they are getting shot by arrows, I'm sure these Haradrim are quite happy with this little rest after having to fight and run around for so long. But it is whittling down their numbers. Urkai archers getting into position, as well as the Urkai crossbows. And the trolls are here to give some support as well. But again, ooh, I don't think the Talon Knights or the Haven Guard have fought this whole time. No, it looks like some of the Talon Knights have fought, but not many of them. So it's going to be real close. Kind of like quality versus quantity, really. Maybe if Dol Amroth is able to take out the Isengard general and then start rear charging with some cavalry, he might be able to pull this off. But as it is, it looks to me like Harad and Isengard might win. But I don't know for sure. We got a lot of Urkai Raiders coming in now. Crossbow Corsairs, Ballista. Oh, but wait. Over here, it looks like some Knights of the Silver Swan and Haven Knights were chasing some Warg Riders down. And unfortunately for Sayuki-san's Ballista crew, once these wargs are taken out, the cavalry of Dol Amroth will be able to go after this Ballista crew unless he runs it away very quickly, or at least puts some trolls or wargs over here to protect it. Oh, but no, it actually looks like the wargs are holding their ground against the Knights of the Silver Swan. Wargs are incredibly good anti-cavalry units, even against high-tier cavalry like Dol Amroth. However, the Warg Riders, very depleted in numbers, not gonna enjoy that fight for too much longer. Knights of the Silver Swan getting caught up by Sayuki-san's second unit of Warg Riders. Actually gonna be enough to maybe rout that unit. Haven Knights now gonna try to sneak around the wargs and get into the Ballista crew. Oh, they were able to sneak around, but I don't think they'll be able to get in with the crew for long enough to do damage. Crossbow Corsairs and the Corsair Archers are all here. If the Crossbow Corsairs do get a volley off, it's going to like devastate that unit of Haven Knights, but we'll see. And with all the Warg Riders here, it looks like, yeah, the Ballista crew will be able to remain active. 2 Knights of the Silver Swan remaining. Haven Knights trying to do their best at cutting through these wargs, but just the amount of wargs that are left will be enough to take them out. But oh, over here you can see the infantry beginning to move forward. The Elves and the men of Dol Amroth going to charge. Looks like Dol Amroth is going to try to exploit this kind of gap in the defense. Soph trying to plug that hole, but not going to be fast enough to silence these, or not going to be fast enough to stop these Knights of the Silver Swan and Swan Knights. Also, Shari Stalker's taking a pretty bad charge there. Urkai Raiders going to try to stop the Knights of the Silver Swan, and even though the Knights of the Silver Swan weren't able to get their lances out, they still were able to do a good amount of damage. And now the AP pike line of Harad is being pitted against the men of Dol Amroth.
The enemy force remains.
Ooh. Looks like Harad, yeah, Harad's really taking a lot of losses, unfortunately. And with all the elites here, it's going to be very difficult, I think. Looks like Soph is going to try to surround some of those elves who are currently trying to sneak around and probably silence those crossbow corsairs who are doing a lot of damage to the elven line. Talon Knights and Haven Guard marching around trying to get into a better position. Hopefully they're going to rear charge these pikemen here and stop the warband who are actually routing or wavering. If they're able to rout, if Dol Amroth is able to rout that unit, things may turn around very quickly, especially with all these units sneaking around these sides, stopping those skirmishers from firing. So the Talon Knights are going to charge into the pikes actually. Black Swan Vanguard going to rout after having fought for so long. Talon Knights fighting against some Trollmen and some Hishari Stalkers. That's going to be a close fight, but eventually the Talon Knights will probably win that one. But back here, the cavalry that was able to sneak around, doing a good job of silencing the remaining skirmishers. Knights of the Silver Swan, sorry. Charging to the back of some pikes. Took a few losses, but were able to do some good damage. Falling back here, rear charge from the Knights of the Silver Swan, going to be enough to rout those southbound pikemen and free up these tier 3 marksmen to go wherever they need to be. But there are still a lot of archers back here, and it looks like some Urkai infantry maybe. Trolls of the White Hand going to be committed against some Haven Guard, and that is not bad, because while the Haven Guard are definitely good in melee, they are going to have a very difficult time against the Trolls, because the Haven Guard are not AP. I thought that looked cool, so I'm going to put that as the thumbnail. But yeah, looks like most of the Elves have been taken out. There's still some Sylvan Staff Masters chasing down those Crossbow Corsairs. Looks like the Elves really were not fond of the Crossbow Corsairs. First it was Leicester with the Elves of Linden chasing down the Crossbow Corsairs. Now it's Master Blaster with the Staff Masters. Ooh, but over here, it's looking pretty grim for Dol Amroth. Just the sheer amount of Isengarders left is really proving difficult for him to take out. But, ooh, looks like a lot of Soph's forces have been dealt with, so it's pretty much just going to be Isengard versus Dol Amroth and like one unit of the Elves. Looks like all the cavalry though has been taken out, except for a few random units, like one Swan Knight and one Knight of Silver Swan. 30 Tower still firing, trying to do their best, probably firing these blobs here. Urkai Archers trying to slow down the Talon Knights, who have taken a lot of losses. Being unsupported, they will take a lot more losses, unfortunately. Tier 10 marksmen trying to hold back these Southbound Warband. Sindar Archer's doing a good job, though, being paired up with the Trolls. Going to do a good job against all these somewhat low tier units. However, there are Nazkai in here, actually, so that I take that back. These are the Nazkai are just cutting their way through these Sindar Archers. There actually are some Southbound Pikemen in here, too, trying to poke those Haven Guard to death with the support of those Trolls. And some Uruk-hai Raiders going to go over and try to silence the Thurn E-Tower. So that looks like that probably will be it. As you can now see some returning units. Sylvan Staff Masters killing Uruk-hai Archers and Ballista. Another unit of Staff Masters chasing the Crossbow Corsairs who were shaken. Ooh, and while the percentage did get closer, I think it is going to be the end now for the Men of Dolarmoth and the Elves of all the other realms. I think the only Elven faction that wasn't here today in this battle were the Elves of Imladris. Haven Guard down to 8. Looks like all the Sindar Archers have been pretty much taken out. You can see Haldir getting just beat up by the Nazkai, just getting kicked down. But he's going to keep getting up and try to fight to the very end, but I don't think he's going to be able to fight for very much longer. He did manage to take out a Nazkai and an Uruk-hai infantry. Looks like maybe. We're definitely not going to go down without a fight. Only 2 Warring Blades left. There goes another admit defeat. Crossbow Corsairs trying to get in the back of the Haven Guard to shoot them, but it doesn't matter, because the Haven Guard actually routed, surprisingly. Oh. Yeah, the Haven Guard actually routing. There you can see Prince Imrahil getting beat on the ground by Nazkai. That is not something you see very often, Haven Guard routing. I mean, they only had a few men left and were surrounded, but still. There goes Haldir. You can see Saruman running around in the background.
Drive them from the battle.
And it looks like that is pretty much going to be the end of this battle, just going to be the last stand of the Sylvan Staff Masters. So I'll put it up to 2 times for now. Another admit defeat. Oh, some bodies pop up randomly, as well as some Corsair Archers. Nazkai at 27. So it looks like Sayuki-san really, his kind of defensive play really definitely paid off for him in the end. Because he's still got a lot of units left over. 62 Uruk-hai infantry. These guys are kind of in between something like the Castamir's Chosen and like maybe the Gondor infantry. They're somewhere in between those 2 units. So not bad. They have way better stats than most standard Sword and Shield infantry. However, you can only bring 4 of them before price increase, and they are pretty expensive. Over here you can see the last of the Staff Masters getting cut down. So I'll go ahead and put up 2 6x speed for now. Yeah, I was so surprised when those 2 artillery pieces just started firing. Oh man. Anyway, it looks like Soph was able to get the most kills, getting well nigh 1,000 kills. Behind her was Savage Paradox and Sayuki-san, Olaga getting 514 kills. And the most kills for the other team went to Master Blaster with 1,253. Very closely followed by Queen K. Looks like the Black Serpent Bodyguard and the Southbound Pikemen actually doing very well. 120 kills and 107 kills is a lot for normal settings. 128 for the Hishari Shadows. I believe that was a Horse Archer unit. Yeah, that is the Horse Archer unit. And another unit of the Hishari Stalkers did not do that either. So that is going to be the end of this video. I hope you guys did enjoy. Please comment, like, and subscribe if you did. If you did not, just tell me what I did wrong, and I'll be sure to fix it for the next video. So farewell wherever you fare, till your eyes receive you at your journey's end.